What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Mad Hatters podcast. I am your wonderful host, Queen Alexis, in all my sunshininess, and I am here with my boy. You know who? You know who? Devontae Davis. Give it up for Devontae. Devontae, say what's up.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all feeling, man? This is gonna be a great episode. I'm ready to
Man.
rock.
And we are on here with my girl, Mavis, Avis, Davis, the angry, the pissed off and concerned today. Mavis, say what's up.
Hey guys, I'm excited for tonight.
And we have a special co-host all the way from Thursday nights on Talk Shoe Radio. The Red Line Podcast is Red Line Thursday. It's Red Line Thursday. My girl, Miss Nelly Swag up in the building. Say what's up, girl.
What's up, all my people? Gracious to be here. It's gonna be a great night. So all my redliners, we taking a trip on Saturday. So it's a
Yeah.
Saturday ride. You did?
And we are here with our special guest. Oh my God, this was a lovely surprise to have this wonderful man come on. Hello, mama. Come on and rock with us on tonight, and we get to hear his story as well. Y'all give it up, man. This amazing community activist. He is the uncle to the late George Floyd, and we will be hearing from him on today and hearing his story. So y'all give it up and help me welcome to the Mad Hatters and the Red Line podcast, Mr. Selwyn Jones. How you doing this evening? Mr. Jones, can you hear me? If you can't, you can just exit out and come back in, and then we'll bring you back in. I think we're having some technical difficulties, but we are going to have this conversation. Oh, trust me, we are. We are going to have this conversation. So I think he, as he get back on with us, man, I'm excited. I am super,
Looks like
super.
you're having some technical difficulty over there.
Hey, I think so.
I think
So
it's freezing. But that's
yeah.
technology for you right now.
Yep, he's coming back in. He'll be right with us shortly. So I am excited while he is coming back on with us. Just to let you know how we end up being there. We were actually about to talk about this, and he's back. We was actually about to talk about the trial
Technical
and what our
difficulty.
things.
Technical difficulty.
Yes, yes, but we are here. Welcome, Mr. Jones. How are you? How are you
Thank
tonight?
you, young ladies and young gentlemen. How are y'all? Thank you for having me. Uh,
We
I'm excited. I'm excited to have a conversation. Just simple. Somebody told me that I was supposed to have a conversation with y'all, so let's get it on.
uh I am super duper excited for this. Oh my God. A little bit before we start into the interview and everything, just I was just telling our viewers how we ended up crossing paths with you. If you want to share your experience as well, your story of how you got to know about us and decided to talk to us, you can. Like, how did you get
All
to,
right,
how you find the little
who
us?
who am I talking to? I don't know who y'all is. These ain't the right folks I'm supposed to be talking. Oh, anyhow, it is the Mad Hatter. Pretty much what happens. Pretty much what happens is all over the country, people will say, "Hey, man, you need to talk to these certain individuals because they got some good stuff going on," or they will, ping you out. And somebody said, "Man, you need to go online and you need to check out this group the Mad Hatters because they are enthusiastic and they're down for the cause. So guess what? I got you, babe. I got you, babe. So here we are. Just
And here
simple.
we are.
I spend my whole life, y'all, doing exactly what we're doing here now. I don't have a job. I don't have any sense. I'm crazier than heck because I had an opportunity, the same opportunity that all of y'all had, to watch my nephew die. You know, hey, for those, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. I'm Selwyn Jones. You can call me Unc, but I am George Floyd's uncle. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to have a conversation just about just life. Just life is what we're going to have a conversation about. Just Life 846. We're going to talk about some black folks. We're going to talk about some white folks. We're going to talk about some Asians, some Hispanic. Don't matter. Nobody's off limits because what I know is there's only one kind of race. That is the human race. So what our job is to try to inform people that think that that they're better, to think that they're in that position of power to be able to tell and dictate and grant and abuse and oppress all of us, which has a tan. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, I was sick and tired before my nephew perished. But ever since then, it just kicked me into another gear.
You
Yeah,
know
man.
what?
Tell us about those few moments, man. Like, I can't even imagine how that must have felt. You know what I mean? But you know, give us an idea of what that was like, man. Like, what was going through your head when that was going on, man?
You know, we're talking about watching them die.
Yeah, man.
Uh, I wake up every morning about 7 o'clock. I uh, I wake up and I get my babies. I got a 5 and a 7-year-old baby. Y'all watch your mouth now. Don't be talking about grandpapa because I'm not grandpapa. You know, and that is a thrill to me to get up and get my little babies, up, and tell them I love them and tell them to have a great day. And this particular morning, I wake up, I get my babies dressed and I come out. And I'm a rather husky young man, so I ate a couple of croissants. Not just one is good, two's good for me. So, so I focus in, I'm sitting down, I look at television. And because I'm from the Jim Crow South, Goldsboro, North Carolina, shout out, I have a certain way that I feel about life. Because the way that we were treated growing up in the early 70s, the way that we were treated. Okay, we're all back. I need one more.
Can you hear me?
I need one more.
Oh,
We seem to be going out, in and out.
Are we back?
It's freezing. It's freezing.
yes, it's kind of freezing, but can you hear us?
Okay, I think we're getting close.
All right. So he'll be back shortly.
This is
While
what
we
you
get
get for interviews online. You're gonna have this.
that's what it is. So hey,
I am so
hallelujah.
sorry. I am so sorry. But what happened is I woke up and I do my croissants thing and I'm sitting there and I'm watching television. And because I come from the Jim Crow South, I have a certain way that I feel about racial tension, you know? And I'm looking on the television, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're gonna kill this dude, man. Why ain't somebody helping him? And you hear these people hollering. Then the telephone rings. And my sister says, did you see what day? I set the phone down. And from that day, this was the 26th of May. From that day to this day, I am possessed, literally possessed. Imagine this. Well, you don't even have to imagine because y'all saw the same thing that I saw. My nephew pretty much narrated his whole death. He was pleading and begging for his life the whole time, from the time they get him out of the car to the time they take him to the car. Now, imagine being someplace and wanting to leave, and there's no place for you to go. There's no way for you to leave. Now, let me put you into another perspective. Imagine being in a place that you know the only way you leave is if you die. Because everybody that watched that video, I guarantee you, the only thing y'all had in your brain is this dude has to die before this thing moves on. So you waited. When he calls for my sister, I have reason to believe that she had his hands out saying, "Come here, baby," because she knew that he had no other place to go. And I watched that. I sat back in the chair and I literally watched my nephew go from begging, from pleading, to screaming, to hollering, to waiting for him to die. Now, a little info about George Perry Floyd. If you knew him, you called him Perry, but his name was George Floyd Jr. He is exactly what you're looking at now. He was a big, gregarious young man. I'm everybody's favorite uncle in my family. I'm that uncle. I'm that uncle that tie you up, that make you drink hot sauce and stuff. That's me. That's what I did to them. I toughened them all up, locked them in the trunk of the car, had some fun with them. But when you're the baby out of 14 kids, you got a lot of toys to play with. And I did. And I played with them all, beating them up, elbows, uppercuts. And he was a big giant. A big giant. His smile would resonate over a room when he walked in a room, not only because he was big, he was loud. You know how us black folk get, "Hey, man, what's going on here?" You know? And he was just a fool. He was funny. He was pretty much like me. Besides, I have a little bit lighter complexion, and I'm about 4 inches shorter than he was. And he had a couple more muscles than I did, but we're not talking about that. That's a conversation on another day. But he was a person that had demons. You will not meet any perfect people in this world. Everybody has trials and tribulations that they have to go through in life. Everybody does. And he was trying to get those demons out of his system so he could move on with life. Yes, he went to prison a couple times, but you know what they say? What don't break you, make you. And him moving to Minneapolis, getting out of Houston, Texas, 3rd Ward, where he was a ghetto superstar, because everybody knew him, everybody loved him, and that was part of the problem. He went off to college. He should have played NBA basketball. But because of my sister's health, because of my sister raising grandbabies, it's hard to see one of yours suffer. It's hard. So what do you do as the oldest boy? Do you go to college, fulfill that dream of 2 or 3 years, or do you have that immediate
The technology is going to be.
Yeah, but he will be back. Uh, so we having some more technical difficulties. But he will be back
I
and
want to touch
everything.
while we wait for him to come back.
Conversation so far is beautiful though.
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about until he comes back. Let's talk about he said it perfectly. Mr. Jones said it perfectly. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And whether you have demons that you're fighting, there's no need for, you to lose your life like that.
Hold on.
But pretty much
Wait.
what happened is being that ghetto superstar, people want to see you come home. People love you, but people don't want to see you leave sometimes. And this particular situation, it was more important
Oi. Go.
to move. Hello? I'm gonna try to move and see if I can't get this better.
It's all right,
We
brother.
can
Take
hear
your
you.
time, man.
It's okay.
Tulululu.
Yeah, I definitely want to remind everybody, feel free to like, share. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. It's all good. We see it. Trying to keep your hate down, if you can or whatever like that. We ain't really trying to have no troll situations. But other than that, man, we want the interaction. We want to hear from y'all thoughts and y'all opinions on the case. You know what I mean?
Our girl Jackie is here. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Um,
It's technical difficulties happen, but so far from what I've gathered, I'm liking that humanity is coming to the forefront because we met George unfortunately for those 8 minutes in a very tragic way, but to know who he was and who his family was, a lot of times media outlets don't allow that. They project the story. They go and look at the criminal background or the trouble somebody had, but he said it perfectly. Everybody got demons, and if we was to die today, imagine what people will bring up about us.
yeah, we got trolls.
It's gonna happen.
Of course, we
You don't
have
got trolls.
trolls.
If
It's
you don't got
okay.
trolls, you're not popping.
It's all right. Oh man. So he is going to be moving his location so it can get better because we have to talk to this brother here. Um, this is man, out for the conversation that we had with him just behind the scenes on was it Monday and stuff he was telling us. I'm man,
It's almost like you knew
when
him,
he
right?
said he watched his nephew die.
Yeah,
We
that's
and
terrible.
we don't even know this man. We was like, oh my God. But to be to be that's your family. Can y'all imagine watching your family member, your brother, your sister, your nephew, your cousin on the news and watching him die and you
Yeah,
can't do nothing about it.
I mean, he seemed like a really good dude, man. Definitely felt like somebody I would have hung out with. You know what I mean? Like everybody got a pass, but he's trying to do the right thing and move on into better heights. So it's kind of like, I mean, that's somebody that I can highly respect. Somebody that comes from, poor choices and decisions and bounces back. So, yeah, man, it's
Yeah,
sad.
But that's
man.
all of us.
Okay, am I here?
So
Yes, you are. Yes, you
Okay.
are.
So he was a normal person. He had dreams, he had hopes, he had wants. He was an uncle, he was a nephew, and he was all of the above. And what we saw on May the 25th was a sign of hatred and racism. And when people ask me, how do I feel? I'm not mad at anybody. What I'm mad at is how the system was designed. The system was designed for us to lose. The system was designed to oppress black people. And this morning I'm talking to a young lady, and have y'all ever heard of the term slave patrol? Guess what they call that
Absolutely.
now?
Police.
The
Police.
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 The police. And it's still a slave patrol because their object is to catch black men and to harm. Now think about this. Now, token redhead over here on the right. No disrespect to your mama. Hey, when did your parents ever sit you down and say, "Listen here, honey. If the police ever pull behind you, you are to put your hands on the dash. You are to say yes, sir, no, sir, please, sir, howdy, sir, and you are to not to say anything disrespectful back to them. Never. Us as black Americans have to get schooled like riding a bicycle. When the police stop you, if there's more than one brother in the car, everybody better put their hands on the dashboard, put their hands on the seat in front of them, and say, "Hey, no, sir, yes, sir, go, sir." Because if not, we are fearful of our life. And that's a hell of a thing to have to be fearful of your life 300 years, 400 years, after slavery, because what I know is this is we're still living in times of hatred, power, and control. That's what we saw with George Perry Floyd. We've seen a grown man that did everything that he was supposed to do on that day and still got murdered because of power and control.
So I want
Man.
to ask you a question. I'm gonna dive right in, man.
Get it?
First of all, I think I mean I know everybody is deeply hurt, deeply sorry, is sorrowed by what happened. But I would love to know: did you run into people that you were surprised, genuinely surprised, supported you, or people that you genuinely was surprised opposed you? And did that really affect? Was there a color barrier behind that? Did you see more of one of the other things like that?
There's
Like, what was you running into after this?
no matter what anybody says, there's always a color barrier, my man. There's always a color barrier. Prime example, if you look at the GQ issue that I'm in, read the article, and the article will tell you that Selwyn Jones has has remodeled a motel. Selwyn Jones has built a luxurious 7,000 square foot house in a little town of Gettysburg, South Dakota. My wife grew up here. My mother-in-law, we have a farm outside of town. She's been here for 76 years. Now, all of these people were friends. Hell, we had 400 people at our wedding. And all of these people, I used to play a little football for a living. So everybody was Miles. Miles is a good man. Miles is a good dude. Miles isn't one of those fellas. Meaning, Miles ain't a black guy no more. Miles is one of us. Because I drive the Escalade. I drive the funny looking Cadillac station wagons. I live in that big house. I was different. I was one of those. Guess what? Selwyn never thought he was different because Selwyn knew, coming from the little town that he come from in North Carolina, that chickens will come home to roost always. Don't matter what. If you argue, if you dispute, if you debate, if you challenge, somebody will show you just who they are. The day that we laid Perry down, I get a phone call. Is there a Confederate flag? Did you know, Selwyn, that there was a Confederate flag on your police uniform? Hell no. I've been coming in and out of that place for 18 years. The police was the only person that came and gave me his condolences before I left. Guess what? There was a Confederate flag on the police uniform patch. Now, my wife and my mother-in-law over the years has continuously told me, you know what, man, everything ain't as bad as you think it is. People ain't as bad as you think they are. I believe people are bad until they show me good because I grew up in the Jim Crow South. And I know that if you argue or debate with anybody, and you know who I'm talking about, they will put you in your place and they will tell you who and what they are. Well, guess what? We get in the car and we're on our way home. And the first message I seen was, you have no reason to make no demands or to want to change nothing in our town. Because, nigga, you need to go back to Africa. Then, obviously, they got to throw the black man deals drugs. Then, I've got memes, and I can't show you because I'm actually using an apparatus I was going to show you, of them saying, you care more about a piece of cloth than you do selling drugs to kids. Now, keep in mind, y'all, these are people that praised me from all of my hard work of rebuilding a motel by myself. I was shoveling snow off the wood so we could redo this motel. But because somebody murdered my nephew, they had an emergency council meeting. And you know what? One of the young men that's on the council said. Matter of fact, he lives 3 doors down from me. He had my lawnmower. He had my $6,000 lawnmower. He stands in the council meeting and he says, why should we change anything because a dead nigga's uncle lives in our town? Why should we change anything because a dead nigga's uncle lives in our town? So most of the people there's two types of people in this world, y'all. The people that can't read and the people that don't want to read. I live in a town of a whole lot of people that can't read, that don't want to see, because it's all about what they say. I don't belong in the community. Now, we spent over a couple $1,000,000 renovating the motel and building a house, but yet I have no say-so in the community. I pay my taxes, but I have no say-so in the community because somebody wanted to make my nephew have a bad day by using power and control. Now, my mother-in-law and my wife, which have said all these years, these people are okay. These are good, hard-working people. These people aren't racist. Well, guess what? I got 1,200 people that I see ride by my road every day. I'm sitting in my parking lot, and I can check off the ones that have called me the N-word or say, go back to Africa. And I tell them, hell, it's 136 degrees in the shade. I don't really think I want to be in Africa right now. You know, I like where I'm at. You know, and then somebody called me a monkey. Did y'all see how them people was climbing up the damn Capitol building on the 6th of January? You ain't never seen a black dude climb a 5-story building without a damn rope. I call them little white spider monkeys. Little white spider monkeys. That's what I call them. Now, think about this. This is another bad part. This is another bad thing that we have to live with. We have to know, as black people, that if we were on that barricade at the White House, it would have been mass murder. We wouldn't even had to enter the barricades. If we would have been standing on the line and they would have said, please leave the premises. July, Black Lives Matters March. They marched over the bridge. There was 468 people arrested within 4 hours. It's been 2 months, 2.5 months. How many people are arrested? 135?
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me what privilege is. And those people look just like David Chauvin. David Chauvin, you knew, and everybody else in the world knew that my nephew had about a good a chance as a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest to leave 38th in Chicago that day alive. And did you see how he did this in the middle of the day with 15 or 20 people around hollering at him, and he acted like he was cutting his grass.
Brazen,
like
just brazen.
No big deal. You know, just eyes all glassed over.
Yeah, we come from Chicago,
like
man.
He did not give a damn.
Yeah. Huh? We come from Chicago, man, and you know Chicago is known for its level of brutality and corruption, you know, citywide. So I guess one of my bigger questions to you, man, at this point is, what do you feel like can be done? What can we do in terms of, you know, how do we tackle this thing with the police and how they operate and treat us in our communities?
We need to do exactly what we're doing here. 4 things, my man. You got to communicate, you got to conversate, you got to educate, and you got to have a certain amount of irritation. Because without irritation, nothing changes. Without education, nothing changes. Without communication, nothing changes. We need to have more black men, black women in schools to teach about real history and not the sugar-coated stuff. They need to teach about slavery. You know, think about this, my man. Who had the hardest time in this whole development of our life? It would be the slaves that come over on the ship, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be. It would be the ones that lived. That's the reason why we're still here fighting. because they fought tooth and nail not to be enslaved.
Yep.
But, you know, I don't understand, and I will never understand how somebody can sit across in front of your seed and say, you don't like that person because of the color of his hair. You don't like that person because he don't live in a house. You don't like that person because of the kind of car his family drives. You don't like that person because of, of where they're from. And you know what, kids? The reason why people say that is because they put us in all of those places. They put us in bad schools. They give us bad teachers. Therefore, we can't have a good job. Therefore, we can't get a good education. Therefore, we can't smile and laugh and be one of society because we are society. We built this place on our backs. Think about this, kids. Raped, beat, killed, lynched, hung, tarred, feathered. What am I? I'm a black man. What in the hell did I do? Because I did everything you told me to. If not, you beat the hell out of me. You used that Willie Lynch syndrome. They use power and control, intimidation factor. If you don't listen, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. And guess what? People understand ass whoopings. People understand getting whipped with that lash. So what did you do? You conformed. That's how they controlled us. And reality is, the slave patrols are still going on because what did they used to do to brothers that they couldn't control? They'd kill you. Then they'd lock
Publicly.
you up publicly. Then they'd lock you up. Somebody asked me, man, do you really believe in racism? You know what I say to them? Pull up a lynching photo. Show me how many black people feet are on the ground.
Mm.
Show me how many black people feet are on the ground. Not one. Now, let's go into a deeper subject. We're 4% of the world's population, kids. 4% of the world population. We have 365 million people. We're 4% of the world's population. But we have 2.5 million people incarcerated in American jails, which is more than anybody. This is men. We got about 8 million women incarcerated. Out of that, 2.5 million men, guess how many of them are black? 1.1. Now, help me out here, y'all. We have 4% of the world's population, but we have 40% of the world's crime, and we are 0.3% of the world's population?
Mm.
How the hell is that?
Mr. Jones, I would like to ask a quick question if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
What you're saying is all facts. It's just blowing my mind because me and Queen Alexis have these conversations offline and off air.
Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to know from your perspective. I've been watching things have they've unfolded, like you said, the police forces, really the slave patrol and all of that. But my biggest thing is, to me, I feel like this generation is different than any previous generation for the simple fact, one, we no longer want to be disrespected, and two, we're willing to have those conversations. So are you happy with after your nephew's passing? Because I should say, me and Queen Alexa started our podcast like right before it happened, and then it just really it became our purpose. We went from we're just gonna have a funny type show, and then it went into we want to dive into these issues, whether it was the riots or all of the things that happened with Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and so on and so forth. And it was just a very crazy summer last year. But with that, we was able to come out in droves and vote, and we was able to do all of those things. Do you feel like your nephew and the death of others kind of pinched the nerve within the psyche of America, especially Black and white Americans, to say, wait a minute, this is something that, although we've tried to deny it, but when we was locked in our houses due to this virus, that it really forced us to pay attention?
Two people, those that can't read, those that don't want to read. And Breonna Taylor, I love Tawana Gordon, my girl. Ahmaud Arbery's people, love them. They're my people. Those didn't spark what we're dealing with now. What sparked what we're dealing with was the killing of George Perry Floyd in the middle of the street like a dog. That's what sparked this worldwide phenomena. Yes, everybody's sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing black men hurt and killed by the same people. It seems like after it happens over and over again, it seems like the damn train would slow down. It sped up. And to address the part about y'all little young Thundercats, I love y'all because the difference between y'all and us in the old days, people, there was a limit. You knew that if you pushed too far, there was two places for you to go: in a ditch, in a hole, or in jail. I appreciate y'all young cats because y'all ain't scared. Y'all sick and tired of being sick and tired. Y'all don't want no more. But what we have to do with y'all young cats is we got to figure out the differential between those that want good things and those that want to just show their ass. Because
True.
looting and violence, that ain't what we want. That's the reason why we're here where we're at now. Because our whole existence, we've been controlled by violence. We don't want violence anymore. The only thing I want as a black man is I want you to treat me like you treat everybody else. You don't shoot them, don't shoot me. You
Mm-hmm.
don't shoot them, don't shoot me. And it seems like that's hard to believe. That's hard to do. So here we go with qualified immunity. We will have a block party in Chicago. I'm coming. Y'all name the place. I'm going to be there. Because if we do nothing else, we have to get qualified immunity abolished. Because without that, it don't slow them down. We got to have something to slow these folks down. Because without slowing them down, we're going to have this conversation every week. We're going to have a conversation every week about somebody else getting slain. Because they are a bunch of hard-hearted psychopaths in this world. And I don't understand what kind of water they're drinking, but who in the world takes their time to destroy families' lives by destroying their kids, their husbands, their daughters, their sons? Who does that? I can't see my nephew at Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day. He will never call me Unc. Come here, Unc. I will never hear that again because somebody decided that they would be judge, jury, and executioner. Listen at this, kids. Over $19 and 100 pennies. That is a misdemeanor. $135 fine. You don't even get arrested. Allegedly. $19 and 100 pennies is what my nephew's life was worth to David Chauvin. Then they let him out of jail. And he says, I think I'm fearful of my life. I need to go to Florida to get away from Minnesota. And they let him.
Yep.
Don't
Yep.
that tell you something? Somebody tells me that everything about life, there's writing on the wall. You can see the writing on the wall. And
Mm-hmm.
what I'm telling you is this: as for an uncle, for a black man, for a grown ass adult, that don't look good to me.
No, it don't. It don't.
That is opening the door to anything that they want to let them get away with.
Yep. Yep.
On
Um,
the question of supporters. I'm sorry, Quinn. Did you want to jump in?
yeah, I have one question I'm gonna get to you, Devontae. Just recently, speaking on the with Ashley, with him being released, and he said he's fearful for his life. He was also talking about while he was in jail, the mental health issues he was having, the anxiety he was having, and it was like, oh, poor him.
He
And I
didn't
want
have that
you to,
anxiety when he killed my nephew in the middle of the damn street.
he
It seemed
did,
like he got a heart on.
he did, he did.
It seemed like that was. It seemed like that put him. That was one of the most satisfying, intimate moments he ever had in his life. Because my eyes have never glassed over like that on anything that I've done. I played football for a living, and I used to get paid to hurt people. And I've never in my life had satisfaction on my face that looked to that degree.
Mhm.
So he was on a mission. He had an agenda. Like I said, I say this all the time. You knew when before you chimed in on that video and you saw that video, you realized that my nephew did not have one chance in the world of leaving there. You knew it. I knew it. The whole world knew it. And guess what? That's the reason why we get to have this conversation today. Because you know what? Let's just be simple. What your mom and daddy tell y'all when y'all were little kids? Keep your
Keep
damn hands to yourself.
your hands to yourself. Yep.
Keep your damn hands to yourself. All you had to do, keep your hands to yourself. And he couldn't keep his hands to himself. He had him and his three brothers to help him destroy my nephew's life and to, and to put heartache on our family forever. Because think about this, y'all. How am I ever going to look at television again and not see my nephew with somebody's knee on their neck? Think about that. Think about that. 1964 Civil Rights Act stated that racism was abolished. Racism was abolished. They ain't been listening at that law too much now, have they?
No, they haven't.
And they
They
don't
have.
listen. They don't listen to any laws that don't concern them. And you have so many people today that are still thinking that white privilege is a myth. They're still thinking that racism is a myth. And people ask me all the time, Selwyn, how can you do this? How can you stay where you are? Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. The reason why people put me in contact with people like yourself is so you can give me an opportunity to hear a real story, just like by a real black guy. And I'm not saying that y'all in Chicago ain't real, but in Chicago, y'all feel a little bit different than we feel down south. Because y'all moved from down south to come to Chicago to make a change, to live in a different world. You know, we stay down south because a lot of them think that's the best they can do. But when they get of age, where do you go? Y'all want to go to New York City. I want to go to Chicago. I want to go someplace where it's integrated, where there's people like me. Well, guess what, y'all? We see a whole lot of people like us. And it's a damn shame that the black man is at the bottom of the barrel. Think about this, y'all. The first black president we ever had was Bill Clinton. Uh, they had a law him and Joe Biden made, and the law stated that if you had 1 gram of cocaine, crack cocaine, that you would be sentenced as if you had 100 grams of cocaine. Do you know how many people perished for that?
Mm.
So what I'm basically telling you is, throughout the late '80s and early '90s, uh, there was a lot of crackheads raising crack babies. Oliver North got put on blast, and y'all might be a little bit too young to remember that. But Oliver North got put on blast because he was telling about the Contra War. You know how
Mm.
the Contra War was financed? Putting crack in the black neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Who in the hell would do that to a race of people? 1941, after all the young men come back from the war, it was the GI Bill that was supposed to make a suburbia. Well, guess who got the damn GI Bill? The white guys. Guess where the black guys went? Oh, it's called public housing. What is it called today? The ghetto.
Yep.
So
Projects. Mhm.
we ain't never had we have been put behind the 8 ball, behind a net, behind a rope, behind everything in the world, and not gave us an opportunity to win. Simple. I'm given I'm put behind things right now that don't give me an opportunity to win. And I tell people all the time, I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to talk to nobody that don't want to hear me. Simple. I had a friend come here the other day, and it's funnier than hell. He came and he called me and he says, "Hey man, I'm coming through your little town." I was like, "Well, I'm here, man. I'll see you when you get here." He gets here. I'm a 54-year-old dude. I'm standing beside the road waiting for him to pull in my driveway. And he looks at me and he's like, "Damn, son, do you not have any friends?" And you know what I immediately said to him? I don't. I don't. I live in a town that thinks I am an idiot, that professes me as a drug dealer because somebody murdered my nephew and it wasn't their idea. Dude says, "Hey man, if it was our idea to change the flag, oh, easily done. But why would we change it? Because a dead nigga's uncle lives in our town."
Wow.
So that's what I get to deal with every day, kids. And guess what? It don't matter. It don't matter. Because as long as I have an opportunity to try to change one soul, I'm okay. Because I'll be daggone. One day I'm going to hear that's a beautiful black woman. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a beautiful woman instead of a beautiful black woman. One day I'm going to hear that's a handsome man instead of a handsome black man.
Mhm.
One day I'm going to hear that's a beautiful woman instead of a beautiful white woman. Because y'all, we come here to play this game for a very short time. Why can't we play this game and be fair and be equal with everybody? Why?
Sound sound too much like right
Yeah,
all the way.
that would be too easy.
It
And
would.
people say, man, that we want normal. We don't want normal. Normal is black people getting lynched and killed and hung all the damn time. Normal is the police go up to a house where they're supposed to do a health check and they blow your brains out
Yep.
because you don't listen to their commands. Well, if you have it, and there are more mental health issues in this world than people will ever imagine.
Yeah.
Hell, look me in the eye. I'm crazy as hell right now. You know,
Yeah.
I'm cuckoo. But instead of sending police officers out, send medical professionals out, social workers out for health checks. And why would you want to send a police officer to a somebody that's having mental issues? Because that's going to put them with anxiety when all they want to do is talk to people. That young man in Philadelphia that they killed, they were at his house on Monday. They went back Wednesday and they killed him.
Wow.
And then they said that they'd never been to the house before. That's a lie,
Wow.
you know? And think about this. The young man in Florida, young man in Georgia. Now, I do have to admit, y'all, now, you probably shouldn't be getting intoxicated and going through the drive through a Wendy's and passing out. That's
Mm.
probably something you shouldn't do, you know?
Right.
But because you pass out in the drive through, does that mean that your ass should be shot in the back? No, he
Mm.
should not have grabbed his taser. But if you know anything about weapons, over your shoulder.
Mhm.
And the police know that. The police know that he won't gonna hit nothing. So why not shoot him in the leg? Why put three in his back? Because they want to go home? Yes. But the suspect wants to go home. You know, what do you I mean what I mean what is it called? Due process? Well, David Chauvin and a lot of other police officers don't believe in due process. They believe in their process.
Mm.
You know, so kids, we got to battle. We got to battle, and I've been battling this since May the 20th. Actually, I've been battling this since 1966, May 22nd. I'll be expecting birthday presents from all of y'all kids, May
Okay.
22nd.
Okay.
But you know, but I've been battling this my whole life because I've never ever felt good about somebody telling me what to do, how to do it, because of the color of my skin. Now think about this, y'all. I'm gonna give you some real facts here. You grow up down south, and you're a 71-year-old black man, and you working in the field. And I've seen this. I've seen a 6 or 8-year-old kid come in the field and say, "Listen here, damn nigger."
Mm. Oh, we see technology.
It looks like I'm awesome.
But we gonna get him back on. Trust me, he coming back.
Man,
Oh,
he's dropping bombs.
I have a question for him.
Go ahead. Go
here you
ahead.
go.
Oh my God. You
Mavis,
here? I can hold wait. I got you. There you go.
Mavis, you got a question for him?
Let me have it.
All right. So, in regards to the Black Lives Matter movement and community, okay, I I agree with the movement. I don't agree with the organization, okay? And here's why. I have done my research, right? And I just want to hear from your side after I point out the facts that I know. You have Black Lives Matter. You know, they want to see change. They want to see change. And I agree, change needs to happen. I've said this before. I said this back on our call on Monday. Change needs to happen. Racism needs to end, and it needs to start with our voices and, leading by example. But within the Black Lives organization, they were all over, Minneapolis. They were all over Georgia. They were all over together in different states. What have they done for your family? Because for what I can see, they haven't done anything for any other person of color who have lost their life. Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Aubrey, they weren't there for them. So what did they do for you?
Where did you get your information from, young lady?
The internet? Am I wrong?
Guess what? Guess what? Look me in the eye. Me and you talked about this. Guess what I'm going to tell you? Black Lives Matters keep things relevant, but I refuse to answer any more questions about Black Lives Matter
Okay.
because you know what I know. What I know is there's been a lot of organizations, and I'll say this much on this. There's been a lot of organizations since my nephew's murder that have probably come to the tune of 85 or 90 million dollars, and they have not helped any other establishment but themselves. And that's all I want to say about that.
Can
No,
I
and I
comment on
appreciate that.
that? Can I comment on that, Mr.
Go
John?
ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, I feel like there are organizations that has the mainstream's attention. And yes, you're right. They make a fuss and they walk around and be acting as if they are concerned about our people, and it's all a fraud. And what we don't see and what we don't, as the public, know about is the local organizations that are raising money and putting back into the community. Here in Chicago, everybody was down State Street with Trayvon Martin with Black Lives Matter, but none of that type of crowd was walking behind ceasefire when they was marching and bringing awareness and trying to stop the violence within our own community, within ourselves. You didn't see that big crowd. And then once the energy died down, then you didn't see them no more. So that's what makes it frustrating for us, because we don't know who to trust. Even people that's our own skin folk ain't our kinfolk. So hmm,
Quick point, because I not to dwell on it too much longer. I do feel that there are organizations that keep the subjects relevant from what you're saying. But I also feel like as a community, a lot of times as Black people, we sometimes get fatigued with the same things that go on over and over, and it's just hard at times. But I just believe that long as we're doing what we're doing, like when we have these podcasts and have these talks and these interviews, that we're doing our job, and sometimes we can't worry about what else to do. But Mr. Jones, I just want to say before we go any further, just thank you for sharing so much knowledge, so much wisdom, and giving your opinion. And you're my birthday twin because my birthday is May 22nd as well.
Oh mama, we're gonna have a block party.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sign up.
I'm coming to Chicago, Shot Town, and Bernie Mac would say that shot.
To the shot,
Man,
baby.
I after this COVID releases us, I want to always stay in contact because I want to put myself in a situation where me and a Breonna Taylor's representative, Tawana Gordon, or Yolanda McNair, that's the young lady's daughter that got killed in Detroit by a police officer's gun by the police officer, but there were 15 people around and there wasn't a witness. Anyhow, but what we want to do is we want to come to every town, every city, and just have a gathering and let people rejoice and conversate with each other, because it's great and dandy fine while everything is still hot. And I'm keeping things hot because I can't shut up. I cannot stop. I will not stop. What happens 6 months from now when everything slows down? Well, guess what? That's when it comes to people like yourself that we ain't going to let nothing ever slow down because it can't slow down. Once it slows down, it seems like
I don't know who it is that is doing this.
It's the power that be, Queen. It's the power that be. They don't want it.
Well, we're going to have this
The
conversation.
revolution doesn't want to be televised.
Period.
Next time we're doing this on Zoom, we're recording it and we're uploading it.
I do about 15 of these a week, and I never had this kind of bad internet service. So I owe y'all a redo. So
we'll give it to you. We give it to you. Because somebody is trying. They trying hard. Oopsie. They trying.
They don't like it. They don't like it.
They don't like it. This some bull. Jackie, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh, I love you too, baby. I love you too.
Look, Jackie stuff and said Mark Zuckerberg full shit. See?
We're gonna blame it on Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Facebook don't want this heat. Watch all of us end up in Facebook jail just cause.
I would not be surprised. Sitting up here and be like, for real? Just for having an interview? For real?
Well, guess what? We go on YouTube Live then from now on. Be like, forget Facebook.
Well, we already look YouTube Live.
I know.
I'll be surprised if they don't be like, we gonna spam YouTube.
I had a young man tell me, once you get involved in this situation as deep as we're involved, that sometimes the phones weren't tricky. Things weren't tricky for you. And I didn't believe him, but I don't know, because like I said tonight, keep in mind, we do this every week. I do this every day from this same spot. And I never had this kind of difficulties. So,
it's because of me. It's because of me.
It ain't because of the token white girl. It ain't. Can you dance?
I can. That's for another day.
That's another conversation for another day. I can do the robot.
Anyway. Mr. Jones.
You can see the block party.
Yes, sir.
I got a question real quick.
Hit it.
So, seeing as how we're coming out of COVID and everything like that, the Asian community is basically saying, the there's been an upswing of racism towards them and their community. And some people on the internet have basically been saying, well, now the Asian community is starting to feel like the black community. Now, my question to you is, what can we do, or what can young people do to align themselves further with the Black Lives Movement and show solidarity and positive direction? Seeing as how the struggle of Black people is really resonant of all people of color here in this country.
Let me tell you something, my brother. We are 400 years ahead of any other race as far as being disrespected, humiliated, and oppressed. I believe they're racist in every faction of life. Like I said, the color of your skin, your hair color. The only way that we are going to accomplish anything, young man, and you know this as well as the young ladies up here, we got to have these conversations. Because without these conversations, how else are we going to know how this person feels? Because for the first time, well, not for the first time, but for for the first time in our life, people are noticing and people wanting to help make change. Dog, somebody asked me a question earlier. What do I see that's different? When a 75-year-old Caucasian person writes me a letter and tells me, hey, Mr. Jones, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your heart. I appreciate your toughness. That tells me a lot, bro, sisters, because where I'm from, a 75-year-older, he's 3 generations away from being a slave owner. They don't give a damn about your black ass at all. You go knock on their door. I'll tell you a little story. I go home once or twice, 3 or 4 times a year. And there's this one guy's house I always stop by. I am just one of those old country boys. When I go home, I want to talk to everybody. I stopped by this one old guy's house. His name is Cindy Weber. I knock on his door. He comes to the door. Hey, boy, how are you doing? And hey, Cindy, how you doing, man? I'm doing okay. I'm up in South Dakota now. You know, my wife looks at me after stopping there about 10 or 15 times over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And she says, Selwyn, have you noticed that you don't ever go inside his house? Now, we go in North Carolina in July and August. It's 132 degrees in the shade. It's hotter than hell. And she's like, you never go inside the house. Why? I sit back and I think, damn, his son is 2 days younger than I am. His son was born on the 24th of May, 1966. I've been knowing this boy my whole life. And I don't ever remember going inside his house. Because we used to go at the front porch and stand at the front porch on a single file line, and he would pay us for putting in tobacco. And that's just that mental control that they have, that this is how it is. This is how it has to be. And it's no different. So the next time I go to his house, I knock on his door. Hell, and I walk on through the door. He's like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm coming inside. Hell, it's hot out here. And he looked at me like I had lost my rabbit ass mind. And I walk in there, I go like, damn, man, you realize I've never been in your house? And he literally looks at me like, you didn't have no reason to come in my house. This is my house. I've been knowing this dude my whole life. Help put in tobacco, pick dead chickens up throughout junior high and high school. They would keep me out of school to work, help plant tobacco, and they would send the Caucasian kids to school. Didn't matter about our education, but it mattered about theirs.
Wow.
And I've been knowing this dude my whole life and never been inside his damn house. Think about that. My mama used to take us riding through the white folk neighborhood and look at their Christmas lights and their Christmas trees, and we go, woo, wow. And I noticed my mother crying. It never dawned on me till about 4 or 5 months ago why she was crying. Because she was showing us what we could have if we kept our head on the right path and put forth a good effort.
Mm,
If you're Facebook friends on with me, go back to some of the pictures and you'll see an 18-foot Christmas tree in my living room. I
mhm,
hate it because I got to take that same damn thing down. I hate that.
mm. Yes.
I like the little ones, man. You know what I'm saying? The ones you put in a little box. That's what I like.
That's one I
But
got.
but
Mine's pre-lit.
all I'm saying is this is Doc Rivers when he coached Cleveland I mean LA Clippers. He made a statement and I was mad at him for making that statement for a brief bit. We live in a country that ain't had our back at all.
Mm, mm.
Ain't had our
Never
back at
did.
all.
Never did.
Never has. We live in a country that what they think about us is we're supposed to be subservient. Like I said, in the 1800s, the doctors come over here and said our brains were the size as monkeys. All
Mm,
we could be is controlled to be subservient by them by the proper measures. That means putting them lashes on that back
mhm,
and getting your mind right. Now, I never accepted that. I never accepted that, and I've been through many, many, many ordeals. I've had the Klan chase me. I've been running through the woods trying to hide them, trying to get away from them as a kid because I refused for anybody to tell me what I could or couldn't do. And now here I am today, 45 years later, and where am I at? I'm grown. I have, in all other aspects in this world, was waiting to die. I can sit out here in the front of my motel and watch folks come fishing and hunting and give them a good service for a good price. And they're going to come and fish and hunt every year. And I'm going to make enough dollars to take care of my family so I can be free. But I ain't free. I want to be free. I want to get that knee off my neck. I want to get that whip off my back. I want to get all the things that people use for power and control to control us. And I want them to take that back and you can keep that in that box because we don't want it no more. You don't want it, sister. You don't want it, brother. You don't want it, sister. And my less melanated, beautiful sister, you don't want it.
mhm.
Now, whenever you can see a young lady like this that comes in the forefront and says, hey, I'll sit on this podcast. I'll tell how I feel. That's telling you that we got a chance.
Yeah.
She makes me believe that we got a chance because in any other walk of life, kids, we don't see this. I was talking to a young man today uh, that come from, he's in New York now, but he spent some time in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he was like, Mr. Jones, can I ask you one question? Yes, sir. I've got a picture. Hold on. Let me finish your statement for you. You have a picture from the early 70s that says, welcome to North Carolina, home of the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm,
We used to see them burn the cross every Friday night at an old Savage Yard.
wow.
Every Friday night, they would burn a damn cross. And I have no doubt that that cross still ain't burning because some people don't want to let things go.
Mm,
And people say that we don't want to let things go. Hell, do you really want to let go of being oppressed and being treated like a third class citizen in your own country where you built?
mm-mm.
No,
No.
you
Mm,
know, I don't believe in violence, but I believe that if you cross a line, we got to go somewhere. We have to go somewhere if you cross that line. Like all these folks around here, sticks and stones. I know this is a little kitty rhyme here. Sticks and stones will hurt my bone, but names will never hurt me. Every time I get an opportunity to see one, I seen one in the store. Closest store that we got to our town is 60 miles. I have to drive 60 miles to get gas in my vehicle because the same guy owns the two stores in town that disrespected me. I'm not giving you a damn red cent. You know how those people are. They're those Negroes are slick.
Wow.
When in the hell did I get slick? I'm 6'3", 247 pounds. I ain't got much slick on me, but I had to drive 60 miles to get gas. Well, I happened to see one of his buddies that about that flag, the Minneapolis Star Tribune. There's a picture of me and my little baby, and there's a picture on the side. Wait. Hold on for a second. Hold on. I need 2 seconds.
Okay. Okay. Um, you
I
gonna give
mean,
me
y'all, that's good. We got a second to unpack this. I mean, he said a lot. You feel me?
Wow. Wow.
Change needs
I
to
can't.
happen, y'all.
I
Change
can't.
needs to happen.
Well, you know, I could say in my own personal experience, a lot of that stuff I've heard. I've heard in my whole life right here in Chicago. You know, I've heard things like they're slick. You know, I've heard things like you the right type of nigga. You know what I mean?
It's conditioning. It's
It's
conditioning.
definitely
They
conditioned.
condition people to be afraid. But when we do this, we have a conversation.
Right.
Here's the post. Here's the paper right here. There's a flag of a guy in town that's sporting a rebel flag. Well, I seen him at the little store downtown, 60 miles away, and he called me ignorant. He said, "Man, won't you help pick your town up instead of letting your town down? You know, stop being a boy, stop being a dumbass boy." Well, I see him. I see him at the stove, and only thing I want to know is, yo, man, you talk an awful lot of trash when you're on Facebook and Instagram, that cyberbullying shit. Well, let's have some cyberbullying right now, partner. Where you at? And he looked like he was about to cry. I like, oh, that's what big men do. Big men talk stuff over line, but when you're face to face, you don't have nothing to say. So I reckon the point I'm trying to say is they talked about Jesus Christ, so talking about me ain't that big of a deal. But all I know, as long as there are young folks like you to give me an opportunity to spread my word, to get my message out, we gonna make a change. We have to stick together. And those that don't want to hear it, guess what? We don't have time to waste. We don't have time to waste. If somebody wants to dispute or debate about it, go on about your bad self. Because you ain't the one for what we're trying to do.
true.
We have a world that we have to change for your babies, for your grandbabies, for my grandbabies, because I'd be daggone if I want the world that I live in, that my babies to have to go through it. And I know you
Yeah.
don't want yours to go through it. So we got to put up that legwork and that fight now, because sooner or later, baby, we all come here with a day to leave. We all
Mhm.
come here with a day to leave. And Lord have mercy. I'm not gonna want to hear them Negro spirituals. I'm not gonna want to
Mhm.
hear the Negro spirituals. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I can't
Mhm.
sing. I can't sing. I can't dance. But I know one thing, y'all. We gotta stay together. We gotta stay together and make it happen. Like Al Green said, let's stay together. Why am I singing all this old good soul music tonight? R&B.
It's all up in there. It's just in
I
the
know, but
atmosphere.
let's stay
Together,
together. Woo! Whether
whether
you
you
yeah. We know the words. We know the
whether
words.
good or bad.
Oh, happy and sad and
Yeah.
yeah. Woo!
Mr. Jones.
Yes,
Like
sir.
we got Christina Davis in the comment section. She says, "I will never know the pain and suffering you and your ancestors felt, but I can promise you I don't support it and I got your back. This oppression and fear mongering needs to end. What do you say to people
Come
that
on,
support the
Christina.
cause outside of the black race that support the cause and what do you think they can do, to help contribute to the mission?
You don't stay quiet because thank you, my dear. God bless you. But this is what I know. I've got a school counselor here that lives in my little town. And she wrote me when everybody started talking trash to me. And she said, Mr. Jones, I am sorry that you have to go through this. I'm sorry my people are doing this to you because you don't deserve it. Because all you have been is a good parent, a good community member, a good dad from what I see. But I would like for you to do me a favor and don't ever mention that we had this conversation because if I did, I will be ostracized. I will get fired from my job. My husband might divorce me.
Wow.
So what
See,
I'm telling you is this is being quiet ain't good. You have got to keep expressing. Don't let this stop with the movement. Don't let my nephew's uh, legacy or his dream stop because his dream was to live in a world with equality and justice in it. So you keep doing what you're doing. When you're standing around and you got some of them folks around you that want to talk about certain type of people, don't let that get away. Hey man, I don't want to hear that kind of language. I don't want to hear that kind of talk because they're all black people ain't bad. All white folks ain't bad. All nobody's bad. There's bad apples in every bushel.
It
And
is.
the problem that we have is those bad apples are the ones that stand out more in times. So we need to just keep fighting. There's so many places where you can make organize a group, anti-racist group, because we got to do something, kids. Because standing here, not saying anything, not doing anything, that won't get nothing done. Hey, if everybody want to take a class and being loud and talking, call me up. I got you. I
Mr.
got you.
Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jones, all the way from our YouTube family, he had asked if you had mentioned the Policing Act um, for this that just came out in your nephew's name in his honor. How do you feel about that?
Dear, yes, I have mentioned that. I mentioned that continuously because that is going to give us an opportunity to slow these folks down and win the battle. Now, I have to say one thing. That young fella that just threw that at me, that was his job to send that because that was my manager. Hey, Melvin Lawrence, you crazy rascal, you handle your business, boy. But we gotta stop it.
Hello.
We have got to slow it down. And Melvin Lawrence, my big buddy, we wrote a book. He wrote a book, and it's just an average Joe. Uh, Everybody has got to have an opportunity to read that because what he did, this young man and some of his friends, Don Ciccone, they wrote a book about my nephew, about his life, and he never once talked to me. He acted like he had a bug at my house, and everything he put in this book was just about an average Joe that changed the world. And George Perry Floyd was just an average Joe. Selwyn Jones is just an average Joe. My man on the board is just an average Joe. We have so many people that all we have to do is make an attempt. Being quiet means nothing. I'm not saying everybody's got to be loud, but everybody's got to spread their word. Being quiet don't mean nothing, y'all, because this is something, it's time to shout and holler and scream because they've been doing this for 402 years.
Yep.
I know I'm tired. I have never been whipped. Wait, hold on, wait. My mama whooped my butt. Yes, she did. She was a big black woman, 5'11", 240 hard pounds. So yes, she whooped me. But I
It's
feel like,
always them short ones. It's always,
huh?
I love you, mama. It's always them short ones. Pack a good, you
Oh,
know.
girl, my mama 5'11", but she won't short at all. Hell, I was about 6 or 7 years old, boy, and she was putting a boot to me, man. But you know what? That's something else we could go back to.
Yeah.
Spare the rod, spoil the child, because there's a lot of youngers that need their butt whooped this day and age.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Empathy's
Yes.
gone. There ain't
Yes.
no respect. There's no respect to the next man. You know, when we grew up, it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Right now, I use yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Yes, sir, and no, sir. So, kids, we got a lot of stuff we could sit and talk about. We don't have enough time in the day to talk about it. Our brothers and sisters, they need to come to a conclusion that we ain't going to hang around. We ain't going to deal with each other if we going to create something and not be there for it. 67% of African American families are single parent homes. How can a woman teach a man how to be a man? She can teach him how to be a good human being, but she can't teach a boy how to be a man. So our black men, we got to step up. It takes more than a man to make a baby. It takes a man to raise a baby.
Mm.
Let's raise good, productive human beings in this world, and let's see them flourish and grow. Because I promise you, when that big woman was putting them whoops on my butt, every lick she gave me, I guarantee you, she said, "This is doing you good. This is hurting me, but this is going to do you good. So
Yeah.
I don't have to go see you at the jailhouse. So I don't have to see you on the television. So I don't have to see you doing something stupid because you know how to respect other people and yourself. Because kids, you can lie to everybody in the world. One person you can't lie to,
Your mama. Mm-mm.
no, 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 no. I've
Or
lied to my mama
yourself.
before, or yourself. You
Or
can't lie to
yourself.
yourself.
That's
You can
fact.
lie to mama, but when mama catch it, mama gonna make you pay for it. That's for damn
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mr. Jones, I just have one quick thing to say because I know time is getting away, but I wanted to, like I said again, thank you for having this conversation because I've always felt the thing that has held back the black community in even all races is sometimes we don't pull from our past generations.
Oh no.
Sometimes we don't always take heed, and sometimes the older generations don't want to listen to the new generation because they say you young people don't know what y'all talking about or whatever. But for you to be open to talk to me, to us, and to share your knowledge, and for us to throw things back at you and answer these questions, this is helping. And for everybody in the comments and everybody who's saying something, and to have this diverse panel up here is a blessing because we're blessing somebody right now. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Jones, for the work you're doing, for the things you're still dealing with to this day, for the people in your town who are calling you names and doing things to you, because all they doing is hiding you up. They think you pushing you down, but everybody gonna know you. And I just want to thank you. And for real, it's just been an honor. And thank you for bringing your nephew's humanity to it. Because a lot of times we look
Got
at
to.
George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery and just look at them as hashtags. But
Hmm.
forget they were real people who had uncles and aunts and cousins. So thank you because it's clear that George Floyd came from some good stock. And and for him to go out like that was a shame. But you right, he is changing the world. Although he died tragically, he is exposing so many things, and we are awakened now, and it's no going back to sleep anymore.
Sweetie, I thank God for young folks like yourself, and I appreciate you that compliment because at 54, now y'all look me in the eye. 54, the new 25. Oh,
I'm definitely saying that in the club. I'm walking up on some 25-year-old.
I can hear
oh
you
boy.
say
Hey,
that.
You
Say
walk
about
to the
it.
club and you look at
54.
a little young gal and say, 54 to that 25. She'd have said, Papa, step away, step away. All I'm telling you is this, man, is I've been black for 54 years. I've been sad for 54 years. And all I know is I want to see a day that comes that I can mingle amongst Caucasians, Asians, blacks, Hispanic, uh, whoever, and we all sit around and just laugh and talk and just enjoy each other for the content of our mind and our souls and not the color of our skin. Because whoever come up with that concept to judge people by the color of their skin, they sure made a bad decision. But you know what? It's been living for a long time. And now, George Perry Floyd, God bless my nephew, gave us an opportunity for everybody to think twice. Because before Perry, a lot of people thought just another dead nigga. Now, people are seeing that was a human being that didn't need to be put in a situation like that because of the color of his skin. I could see if he was acting like a fool, if he was trying to tear up something, but that ain't how it was, kids. That ain't how it was. You know what? I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna have to get out of here. I'm gonna owe y'all. Uh, we're gonna do another conversation. I would love to invite y'all to the anniversary of Perry's death. It's May 21st to May 25th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I would love to do a 1 year anniversary with y'all at Minneapolis if we can make that happen. Because as long as I'm breathing air, I feel like I just made some friends here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
God bless y'all. You stay in contact with me, Alexis.
I will. I
Young
will.
man, mama, less melanated young lady. Hello, hello. I told you, girl. Now, y'all, me and her was talking last night on the phone, and we supposed to have us a Comedy Central moment. So it's me and you, redhead. Me and you. I got you. I got
Let's
you.
go. Let's go.
Let's do it anytime, dear, because it's hard to beat the black guy with freckles talking smack. Woo! Anyhow,
Look,
God bless you.
we gonna
God
make
bless you,
them happen.
kids.
It's
God
been
bless you,
an
kids.
You gotta come
And,
to Chicago and do the block party and celebrate our birthdays together, Mr. Jones.
hey, Mama, I got you.
Dang.
I'm gonna be in.
I
I
want you
know
in
that.
that all white suit. I want you looking like
Oh,
the cat daddy you is. Step out
oh,
the
oh,
back.
Hey.
oh,
Two
you
step.
throw up.
oh! Don't make me throw on that. Don't make me throw on none of that Amani stuff with that gold chain now.
Oh,
Okay, daddy. Okay, daddy, girlfriend.
Mike, you
Hey.
better talk your talk, OG. I feel like I
I,
got a new uncle right now.
hey, mama, don't mess it because I think I got a pair of red bottoms somewhere I could throw out on you.
Oh,
Ooh, ooh,
Oh,
Now,
ooh.
now come
Uh,
on. Come
I'm
on,
going to
Nelly.
be I'm going to be in Chicago because Macy Gray and other entertainers put on a big movement up there
Uh-huh.
for BLM, and I think I'm going to be in that engagement. So I will see you. I will be in Chicago soon. But we will
Let us
stay in
know.
contact with you. God
Yes.
bless you. Love you.
Thank
And
you.
I've always wanted to say this. Love, peace, and soul train.
amen.
thank you,
Ah,
Mr. Jones. Thank you.
Later, kids. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that amazing, amazing interview. Man, even with the technical difficulties, honey, we got a huge, like, stomach full of wisdom and, man, much love and much more, much love and a lot of encouragement to that brother on his journey in this fight. We will be having him on. I think we should have him on coming into our third season because this
Amen.
season is about to roll out and everything. So we're gonna start this season up with Mr. Jones again. And yeah, anybody feel up to having a road trip to Minneapolis? And
Look,
Yeah,
let's get in
right,
the car.
we
Let's
on it.
go.
let's
Let's go.
go.
Let's
And
go.
we gonna make this happen because we gotta support him. We gotta support
Amen.
his family and families like his that have lost precious lives to police brutality and racism. So we gonna make this happen. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for an amazing night. I had to I had to entitle this an evening with Selwyn Jones because it wasn't no we should guide this a certain way. No, no, we're gonna let him talk and we're gonna come back with more from him in our next season. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Tonight was needed. Shout out to the Nobody Asked Me Guys show, Melvin on YouTube. Our
Yo,
girl Jackie, hi girl. Christina Davis. My mama, of course. Gina Storm, everybody. Remember, look, I'm with Jackie. We are now called Thundercats. Which one of y'all lying on?
yeah, I'm Panthro. Panthro is black guy. I'm the Panthro. Okay,
Yeah,
everybody know Panthro was the only nigga in the
uh,
whole show.
he was. He
He
was.
was.
We
Panthro was
ain't want to
blue,
talk about that,
and
but
he was
he
a little bit of
was.
a thug, but he knew his shit. That was Panthro.
Man. Shout out to SCP Soulful Entertainment Productions CEO Daniel Davis. He was watching and tuning in on us. Thank you for supporting and everything. And also shout out to my girl from the Red Line Podcast, Nelly Swag up in the building.
Thank y'all
Man,
for letting me hop on with y'all. This was an amazing evening. It was so fulfilling. Got a lot of information. And I just believe that we continue to have these conversations. And I think this is what both of our platforms are meant to be for, to
yeah,
give people opportunities. And I believe that since we have taken care of such a great opportunity, God blessed us with this opportunity to connect with somebody like Mr. Jones. So we just gotta keep pushing and keep going. So everybody, please subscribe and listen to the Mad Hatters every Saturday. And just to let y'all know, y'all can hop onto the red line on Thursdays, 8
oh, we
p.m.
go.
Central Standard Time on Talk Shoe Radio. Yeah, 717-734-6904, show ID 511-6519 pound. And yeah, we on all, podcast platforms. So real talk, just thank you, Queen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. You Know Who. Thank you, Miss Mavis, for just letting me come on and hop on with the family because it's been a beautiful evening. And
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself. I think I'm about to go shout and run around the house. So I don't know we ain't been in church in a minute. I felt like I got preached to. So I'm
Yes.
going to go do something.
Yes. Yes.
I
Oh my
mean,
God.
you said it perfectly earlier, Nelly. You said it perfectly earlier. With the fact that we're diverse, I think is a huge thing for us because they get to hear my side and my heart. I'm not that typical Caucasian person, right? And you guys already know my heart from season one. And change needs to happen. And I think that's one of our biggest blessings is we have that diversity. And I think that's what's grasping a lot of people too. And I think this is, and you said it earlier, our platform is getting ready to rock the world for change because change needs to happen.
Man. So shout out to whoever. Also shout out to whoever y'all are that got in touch with Mr. Jones and told us about this one little us over here in our little corner up in Chicago, minding our own business, talking about everything in the world. Thank you. Thank you. We are so appreciative of it. Thank you, Christina. Y'all, the Real Freedom of Speech platform. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Ah, I'm so full. I've been holding back tears all night because I'm trying to keep on these lashes. Yeah, and I took too long with this face, so I'm not gonna mess it up. But trust me, after I get off of here, I'm gonna cry because this was an amazing opportunity for both of our platforms. We've been talking about this. We started our podcasting right in the midst of it. So it's like full circle. And we're about to celebrate our 1 year anniversary this the end of May. So this is like full circle for us. And we are so appreciative of it. Next week, tune in. We are going. and everything. Shut up, Brandon. Next week we are going to uh we are going to be interviewing Miss Gertie Bates. She is an author of an amazing book, and we're going to talk about um, elder abuse. So how to treat your family right. And after that, the week after that, April 9th, I will let y'all know this. We're not going to be on the 10th of April. That's Saturday. We will be on for the 9th. It is Battle of the Sexes. How you doing? Girl talk versus man cave. I think I might have a little game for y'all and everything, but we're gonna end this season out on a fun note. Man, whoo, man, it's gonna be amazing. And y'all stay tuned for what we're gonna have, how we gonna end out this season with the Red Line podcast. Cause trust me, I got some epic loose squares and louds up in here. Just happening for you.
And I have nothing to do with it. The thoughts of Queen Alexis are hers and hers alone. It does not reflect the Red Line podcast. We do not take responsibility.
She knew what she was getting into when she put it.
I'm saying that's her. That's her. But we'll talk. It's all love. But
She
yeah,
knew
we're
it.
coming on 1 year. So stay tuned for what we're gonna do to celebrate that. Because man, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think we was gonna make it past episode 5 because I was like, I don't know what to do. This is
too much. This is too much.
But we here.
We here. We here. So y'all stay tuned. We are here. The Mad Hatters here every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on our Facebook fan page and on YouTube, our YouTube channel at the Mad Hatters 530, and our Twitch account virtually on Mad Hatters. Yes, Mad Hatters 530 on Twitch. We are also streaming on Spotify and iHeartRadio. And y'all tune in to us every Saturday. Tune in to the Red Line Podcast every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Talk Shoe Radio. And we are streaming on your whatever podcast streaming platform you got. Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, your mama and them, everybody. We on there on every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And for all of my artists, yes, all of my artists, my very creative, artistic people, check out your girl Tuesday night on the Matter Queens Court. Much love to every one of y'all. I'm going to go and cry and be all right. And we will see y'all on next week. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. We love y'all, and y'all love. We know that y'all love us, and y'all love on yourselves. Okay, Sunday coming. Yeah, this Sunday coming. New week. Start all over with some love in your heart. And if you if you can't find nowhere else to do self love, figure that out on your own. You got a hand. Figure it out. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing.
The thoughts of hers alone.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Bye. Thank y'all. Peace. Happy Thursday. Red Line Podcast.
Yes.